You are now listening to Traumedy with Nancy Norton. Nancy Norton is a registered nurse turned award-winning comedian, a certified humor professional, and keynote speaker about the power of humor. Nancy got out of healthcare for the same reason a lot of people get into it, to save lives. This week on Traumedy.
But then was there something at 32 that you're like, you know what? I'm going to do this.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lady. I was seeing someone and it didn't work out. And it was very painful for me because I was just like, I'm 32 now and I'm still single, and I have a master's degree, but I'm back to, because I was an optician. I started working in the optical business when I was 17. Even after I got my master's degree, I went back into the business, but I was like, I thought I was going to go into Europa and then get a job as, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like a professor, but I found out how academia really worked, and I was like, I'm not into that. And I felt like I'm back to where I'm square one, and I felt like I didn't do anything with my life. So and then it was just sort of like, I forgot about stand-up.
When you think about your first jokes, or even any that you're doing now, were your jokes around the breakup, or were they totally separate? Like,
I mean, I know the first joke that worked, and I still tell it to this day. I didn't want to do the love anything but relation stuff because I didn't think I was good at it yet. I was like, I don't know how to do this. So, but I had this joke about, I had a serious gambling. I'm broke. I talk about how broke I was and how I have a serious gambling problem. I gambled in a liberal arts degree, and so that was the first joke that worked. That got a laugh, and whenever I would say it, it got a laugh.
Yeah.
And I was like so excited.
Do you have a trauma? Hey, you listening, do you have a traumedy story to share? If so, send Nancy a message at nancynorton.tv. That's nancynorton.tv. TV, as in the word television. The Traumedy Podcast is sponsored by Crybaby Badass. You have to feel it to heal it. You are a Crybaby Badass luminary. See your light in the mirror. Merchandise available at nancynorton.tv. It's the Traumedy Podcast. Trauma plus comedy equals Traumedy.
welcome to Traumedy. My guest this week is a comedian and an optician. Welcome, Anthony Bartolo.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Good to be here.
So good to have you. I've been wanting to have you on the podcast for a while. I think I got to know you the best like when I was working on that festival in 2018. I was doing a lot of the mics.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And you were at Vision Quest.
I was doing Vision Quest, yep.
That was a cool open mic kind of situation.
Yeah, it lasted 7 years, which is a long time.
That is a commitment.
Yeah, it was.
Here in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah.
So were you raised here?
No, I'm from New Jersey.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
So how did you end up in Boulder?
I went to Naropa here in Boulder.
Oh, I didn't know you were a Naropa guy.
Yeah, I have a master's degree.
You do?
Yeah, in religious studies.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just out of the gate ask you, after studying all the religious, studying religions, what conclusion, did you come to a conclusion about religions, or is there a best one?
Is there a best one? I mean, like, I was raised Catholic, but then I explored all the different religions from Judaism to Buddhism, Hinduism, got into Indian philosophy, and I don't know, somehow Catholicism got back in my life, but I don't go to church often. Whenever I'm visiting my mom, I would go to church with her, and it's just this weird thing because I went to Catholic school, was an altar boy, so religion was just there in my childhood. So I think whatever I'm facing now is sort of a reflection of that upbringing as a Catholic.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Now so we got to get to that, whatever it is you're facing now.
Yeah.
But there's a part of you, what I hear you saying is like, there's a part of you because of the deep imprinting from such a young age that you still go back to Catholicism. Does it help like as a container or a structure or a support?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just I don't know if it's nostalgia for younger days,
Where things were kind of clear, like black and white.
No, that's the thing. I mean, but it was interesting being raised Catholic because it was just, it was a lot of structure and anxiety.
I love that. That's I've never heard those two together, but I really kind of get it. Tell me about structure and anxiety.
I mean, like, basically going to my parents, like my sister and I both went to Catholic school since we were like kindergarten, and we graduated through grade school. And there was so much like structure in terms of like I had to be on time. They gave us a lot of homework, and the thing was, it was a very small class. It was barely like 25 kids. So
your grade.
Yeah. So like from kindergarten, there was maybe 25 kids. And then as I proceeded to 8th grade, there was only 10 kids in my class, five boys and 5 girls.
And were they the same ones that stayed?
Some of them were. Some of them came in a little bit later in like 5th grade. But some of them, yeah, I've been with them since kindergarten.
So I was thinking like, some of the same teachers that you're around a lot.
Yeah, they knew
principal.
my sister too because she's 9 years older than me, so I was like the younger brother.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so they knew my sister, and she did well. She succeeded very well in Catholic school. I don't know if there's something called May crowning. I don't know if you know what that is.
No, tell me.
It takes about around May. They select a female who they think is a person of excellence. And so they chose my sister because she was like had the best grades, and she was the one who crowned Mary. Basically, she took the crown and crowned this statue of Mary in the church.
So it's a huge honor.
It was a huge honor. My sister and I were the only like Asians in the class. It was predominantly Caucasian. It was a Polish. We went to a town that was 80% Polish, basically.
And this is New Jersey?
This is New Jersey, Wallington, New Jersey. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records for most bars in a square mile. It's true.
It's really in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yes.
Most bars per square mile.
Yeah. And and she was my sister said that she experienced some what do you call that? Because she was not Polish, she wasn't Polish or white.
Oh.
Yeah, because
I think they call it racism.
Yeah, that's it. That was the word.
Discrimination, racism.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable sharing your ancestry?
So my parents, they came from the Philippines in 1969 illegally. They just overstayed their 90-day tourist visa by 56 years. That's all they did.
Are they still living?
My dad passed away about like 6 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And my mom, she's like 84. She's still living. So the story of my family story, this all kind of happened before I was born. But my sister remembered and she told me stories. But basically they overstayed their visa. But my mom said it was something that was kind of normal because she got the idea from one of her girlfriends who was a nurse saying, just apply for a tourist visa, come to America, and then oops.
And then just forget to go home. And
yeah, my mom got a job.
Is she a nurse?
No, she wasn't. She was she got into data entry.
Oh,
basically.
Okay. So she worked like so many immigrants come here, they work, they pay taxes. I mean, this whole thing with ICE right now, I'm just asking, like, gosh, could somebody like an 84-year-old Filipino woman, the idea that somebody could get deported after contributing to the system and being a great, like, member of our society, the whole idea of it. But she ultimately got her citizenship.
Yeah, it's a great story because, like, my dad, they got caught because he tried to, like, apply for a license, and which is interesting how like lax things were. Because I goes like he got a job, nobody asked questions, nobody asked for his green card. They paid him, taxes, and that was it. But then he had to reapply for his driver's license, and they asked for his green card, and that's what happened. And then he also had trouble at a bus. My parents bought a house in Virginia, But the thing was that my dad, because of the immigration thing, he couldn't find a job in Virginia. He had to stay in New Jersey. So on the weekends, he would just take the bus from New Jersey to Virginia to be with us.
Oh, wow.
And while on the bus to go back home, some INS agent asked him for his green card based on him because he was foreign looking.
Yeah.
That's what the lawyer, his
profiled.
Lawyers, he goes like, hey, you can't just, because you think he's foreign looking, ask for a green card. But yeah, he was detained for a few hours. I talked to my mom about this. Well, this was because of ICE and everything. I wanted to know.
Yeah. What year would this have been?
Probably mid-70s.
Okay.
I'm going to assume. And my dad got a lawyer, and I did research because I asked my mom who the lawyers were, and they turned out they were like one of the best lawyers, immigration lawyers at that time. And they were working for my dad, and one of his lawyers got in trouble with the federal courts because by law, if you're an immigrant, you should have your like proof in your pocket with you at all times, even if you're like going to King Soopers or the grocery stores. By law, Constitution, you should have it. Always.
Oh, I never knew this.
Yeah, and this lawyer didn't believe in that, and he kind of kept so these are people they were probably caught. Overstaying their visa, but they had some paperwork and stuff that like they could stay while they're still in the court. So he kept all that in his safe in his office.
Oh no! So they wouldn't have their papers.
Yeah, but he was saying like if anybody basically touches, you tell them your lawyer has it, in his office in the safe. And the federal court took issue with that. So I did all this research, and it was kind of weird, but it was also interesting that they were fighting for my dad and my mom to stay. And my sister told me that they had to say that I have eczema.
You do? Personally, Anthony?
Yes. Ever since I was a kid. And I think my sister said that she had to go on the stand and say that, if you deport my parents and we have to live in the Philippines, Anthony's eczema, it would be terrible in that type of weather.
The eczema defense.
I know.
We don't often hear the eczema defense. But hey, don't underestimate eczema. It's itchy and it's
terrible. Yeah.
It's really not. Yeah, it's not fun. So that was she had to take the stand.
Yeah.
So you would have been a little bitty guy, and then she was 9 years older, so she could testify.
Yes. And she told me that story. And then my dad told me, so I goes like, so what happened? And the thing is, it took probably a few years before it actually made it to courts. By the time it made it to the courts, my dad's lawyer was retiring.
Oh.
But so it finally was presented in the court, and my dad told me that their lawyer said, I found out who the judge is. I think you're good because he's a family man.
Oh,
and
good.
So they went to court, and the judge basically said, I can't separate because we were American citizens, but my parents weren't. So they were like, I can't separate them. Yeah. So he granted them green cards.
Is a green card permanent citizenship?
No, it's just you're not a citizen, but you're like a registered resident alien, basically. That's what they'd say.
Resident alien.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre. But then is that a stepping stone to citizenship?
Yes, correct, yeah.
And then how long does a green card? Is it?
I think 5 years or something like that.
So that gives you time, hopefully.
Yeah. I don't know what the current state now is of how long if you currently have a green card. But it's funny because apparently my parents, they're interesting. I mean, I procrastinate a lot, and I think I got this from them because they didn't get their citizenship. They went way past
the green card.
Yeah,
they did it again.
They still had a green card and they're all legal, but they just didn't go to the office and become American citizens right away. It actually took them. I remember as a kid, we were learning about civics and asking my dad, he was like, so he was like, if you have a green card, are you an American citizen? And he said, no. And I was like, don't you think you should? And he's like, yeah, I think I should.
So you inspired him?
Yeah.
When you were studying civics?
Yeah.
What grade would that have been?
Maybe third. It was social studies class, I think.
I have to say, the Catholic school system sounds like you got a good education. I don't believe I studied civics till probably middle school. I don't remember really understanding the branches of government and things like that.
Yeah, I got that. They were, at least they instilled that. And then we learned New Jersey history, I remember. And so it was was a good education, but it's too strict for me though.
Right. I was thinking, I know where my mind went earlier, but before I want to bookmark that about you going to Catholic school. And you remind me, of course, of my son who is Asian, and I know that's wrong. There's a part of me going, that is wrong.
How is that wrong?
I don't know. I just feels like it's probably wrong. That old white mama is over here going, you remind me of my son. He's also Asian, but from Nepal. But I will say this, on the immigration point, he won't go to Denver right now. And I said, I've got in this filing cabinet right here, I've got his citizenship papers, but he needs to have a copy. He's an immigrant.
Oh, is he? So he's not an American citizen?
He is an American citizen, but he's an immigrant.
Yeah.
So that when I heard you say, well, even if you're a citizen, do you have to have your immigration papers?
No, I think I gotta, but it
wouldn't hurt though.
It wouldn't hurt though.
Because I'm telling him, you should put that, that My Colorado app?
Yeah.
I'm doing a rectangle. I'm pantomiming a rectangle. Here's your phone. It's on the phone. I don't know why I'm doing that. But on the My Colorado app during COVID, you could put your vaccines. Yeah. And so it was nice to go into whatever when they weren't letting you in unless you were vaxxed or whatever, and you'd show your vax card on there. And then I need to put a lot of more documents on it because you can put your driver's license and all this stuff. So if you forget your wallet, you've got your license, you've got your insurance cards, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, you should put your citizenship picture of your citizenship paper on there, certificate. Yeah. It's a certificate. It's frameable.
It's frameable.
Yeah. It looks like it's something you're supposed to frame and have on the wall. That's the way they made it.
Does he have a passport? That's easier to carry, I think.
Yeah. Do you have any feelings about ICE right now as a man of color, an Asian person? Do you identify as a man of color? I know that sounds like
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, my son's definitely feels that way. I mean, he's like, I'm brown. I'm not going to Denver.
Why does he want to go to Denver? Because he's
ICE. He said there's ICE happening in Denver.
I mean, I protested. I went down there that No King's Day, and I saw cops. But I mean, what I think of ICE, I'm certainly, if I see a guy with like a mask grabbing somebody and putting him in a car, I'm going to call the authorities or stop them because I don't know who they are.
But you're not afraid for yourself.
I don't know. It's funny because my mom, I was talking about her and she was kind of freaking out because she goes like, you should stop demonstrating.
Well, I mean, I don't trust these guys. But you're a natural citizen. I mean, you're born here. So
that's the thing. I'm born here, and I'm doing all this protesting because it's like I don't think my parents, if this, what they did it now, they would be in trouble. So.
I know, and for no reason. It's like they're an asset to our country.
Yeah.
They're helping us. And that's the thing I don't understand. One of my other friends who's undocumented, I was talking to it was a while back, but he was saying, yeah, my family, we've all been paying taxes for a very long time, but not really getting the benefits of the taxes, Yeah. I don't think they have all. It is complicated. I know that's not necessarily what you wanted to talk about, but I think it's very interesting. So thanks for sharing that about your parents. And I just think anything we can do to help gain empathy for immigrants is good.
Yeah. I mean, my parents, they worked hard, they didn't, I hate their current dude. I don't know what to call him, but the
Dark Lord.
Yeah. The Dark Lord. It really pissed me off when he was talking about eating dogs, eating dogs. I don't really remember that.
Yeah. Was he talking about Filipinos or different?
No, I think he was talking about Haitians, but it's just like historically Asians have been like,
vilified
as people who eat your pets. God. And it's just bringing that up at this time. It's just, how is that? I don't know why people voted for him. I don't.
I know. It's baffling. It truly is baffling.
And the ones who are people of color voted for him even makes me even more like, what are you doing?
Right?
Yeah. I can't understand it. I have family members. I'm like, okay, you did vote for him. I don't know why. But it's such a strange world now.
It is such a strange world. It's hard to understand how whatever's happened with misinformation, like whatever channel or feed that you're on somehow, do you think it's about the Facebook or the news or?
Well, the thing is, sometimes I wonder if it's even the lack of critical thinking, because I have relatives that like, or family friends where they voted for Trump, but they had family members who were illegal immigrants, and it was just, I don't get it.
Yeah, I know. I've been seeing a lot of reels lately, especially among Hispanic community that voted for Trump, or like this family. They're on stage wearing MAGA hats, playing music, and I will vote for Donald Trump. I will, and then cut to her husband's being deported.
Yeah.
Or, you see, I know, again, I get my information from
Filipinos
reels.
are very pro-American. We were a colony. We didn't become independent until like the 40s. So I read somewhere that the friendliest country to Americans is the Philippines. So there is this sort of, sometimes there is a conservatism, I think. Inherent.
I see.
And then that and them being 80% Catholic.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of, I think there is a deep conservatism in the culture. And I think that's why.
I understand that. Okay. Yeah. Back to your upbringing of like rigidity.
Yeah.
And so rigidity does not invite critical thinking, right? You just follow it.
Correct.
You follow the rules.
Correct.
And so your sister, it worked for her. She's a good rule follower. But I'm thinking when I was saying you remind me of my son, because I sent him to, he calls them hippie schools, with very little structure. So it was like Waldorf influenced elementary school. But then he kind of complained, like by the time he got to high school, he chose to go to this engineering school. And he said, I don't have study skills. But, honestly, I think he did have critical thinking skills that will last him his whole life, even though he wasn't academically, he's not an academic overachiever. I mean, we were high-fiving D's when he graduated high school. I mean, literally like, Psh, you passed. That's all I care about. I did psychedelic trauma therapy. He came to pick me up in his car. And the first thing I said to him was, fuck grades. Like I've been worrying about his grades. And I was like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just be a good person. Make friends easily. You're going to be okay. And he's bright. But for you at Catholic school, he kind of has ADHD. He's creative. It just was hard for him to sit still. Did you have any of that?
Oh yeah. I had anxiety. I didn't realize it until like I was older what it was, but I just had this deep feeling of anxiety going to school. Like sometimes I would fake go, like, my stomach hurts just to go home.
Yeah, because you're so worried.
So worried. And the thing is that I don't know. I was very quiet as a kid. That's what a lot of the teachers said, that he didn't like talking. Like, how kids talk when they're told they're not to sometimes, or they'll whisper. I never did. I was just so scared of talking. So I was just the silent, strong, I don't know how to say strong, but I was just very silent.
But stoic, maybe. Just kind of held your tongue and
anxiety. And I mean, also like but it was weird because I was really good at religion. And
like, what do you mean, memorizing all the stuff? Or what does that mean?
I don't know. I think I understood the stories a little bit. I mean, one of my favorite stories was about Jesus going against the Pharisees, and where he went into like one of their temples, and there were people selling. People were selling merchandise, and he overthrows,
turns the tables, flips the tables. That's not what it is. It doesn't turn on me. Flips them.
And he goes against the Pharisees, and I just remembered that story and thinking about him, be like, he's going against the authority. He's being a rebel. And then I just sort of put this whole like, why do I feel like the Catholic churches are like the Pharisees now? I don't know. As a kid, I was kind of figuring that out. I was like, the Pharisees are currently.
Yeah. So you were able to understand the message.
Yeah. The deep message of what that story was about.
And apply it to your current situation.
Yeah. Our priest, I remember every Sunday would talk about how much things cost during his like homily.
Trying to get more tithing?
More, yeah, basically.
More, what do you call it?
Giving, yes.
What is it called when they pass the
collection?
Collection. We're going to pass the collection plate. So kind of trying to.
Yeah, talking about like the ceiling is like leaking and how much that costs. And I was like, how is this about the Bible? And it was just strange.
Yeah. Did you suffer any other kind of like, abuses in the church?
No.
You were spared.
Surprisingly, it was as an altar boy, because there were times where there was this Polish tradition where right after Christmas, a priest would go to your house and then they would write a chalk with the initials of the three kings and then do a blessing, and they would have an altar boy escort the priest to these houses. And I would do that after school till like 8 p.m. And it was just me and the priest, and nothing happened. It was, he took me home. So
there's not every priest. Let's just not generalize.
Sure.
But I know it's interesting maybe that why am I compelled to ask you that? But I felt compelled because people associate.
Yes. I mean, I witnessed other stuff about priests. I mean, the church that I went to, I had a little bit of money because they had their own exercise room. Because I remember being in the rectory, hanging out as an altar boy, and the doorbell rings, and it's like, Father Stanley's Norditrack is here. And they're like, just put it in the exercise room. And I'm like, they have an exercise room?
And it's not spelled with an O, like exorcise.
Exactly.
A different water dispenser. Okay. A
lot of jewelry came in too.
Oh.
Like, you remember QVC jewelry back in the day?
They were like, maybe one of the priests was a little bit of a shopping addict.
Yeah, and
like the ceiling is going to leak. Wink, wink. I need another. What kind of tennis bracelet was he getting? I don't know.
Yeah, and then I'll talk to the nuns who were my teachers, and they told me that they can't even have credit cards. Only the head nun can have a checkbook.
Oh wow! So they're like indentured servants.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little weird that like a priest can have credit cards. They don't get to pay taxes.
Yeah, what's that about? That's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother thing.
I know. Church and state, like, they're shelter. They have all these tax shelters, and yet they are influencing all these elections with the Christian nationalist movement. I'm not an expert, but I am bothered by it. Well, do you think, so you were super quiet. So you're kind of, maybe, when I study a lot of trauma stuff, they now have more F's in the fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and I forgot what the other one was, but like freeze mode. Do you feel like maybe you were in freeze mode at school?
Yeah, I mean, I was scared of some of the nuns because they were old and cranky. They weren't exactly warm. I mean,
did you get hit with a ruler or something?
No, but I had one of the nuns said, "I remember the good old days when we could do that."
Oh, she was lamenting.
Yeah,
back in my day, we could beat you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you would behave, but you were well behaved. You didn't.
I was the well behaved one. They would always tell my mom I was the well behaved one, but that's because I was so uptight and try to stick to the rules.
Scared.
Yeah.
And
I had regular teachers. I don't know. They weirded me out. I didn't like getting yelled at. I couldn't take, like, being, what's the word? I don't know. I remember teachers yelling at students and making me feel really bad.
Yeah.
And I have memories of that. And I'm just like, wow, how is this helping my development as a child? I mean, other than...
You witnessing that, you mean?
No, I get sometimes when I forget my homework or something like that.
You're getting yelled at.
I'm getting yelled at by the nun or the teacher.
It sounds like you're very sensitive.
Yeah, I was. My mom said that too. My dad said, "Are you too sensitive?"
Not too sensitive, but sensitive. Like, have you heard of HSP, highly sensitive people? Christy Buckley told me about them.
But it's not. Was it empath or?
It's like HSP, highly sensitive people. There's characteristics of it. Things that might not face somebody else, but somebody might look at you sternly, and you're scared because you feel so much. Maybe it is.
Well, it's
maybe
the Catholic guilt too.
Yeah, there's a guilt too. Yeah, but how in the world, as a shy, anxious kid, when did you start coming out as like kind of, or did you have funny thoughts that you just kept to yourself, or where did this humor come from?
Well, I remember how stand-up came into my life. I have a very vivid memory. We lived in a small house, and I was in my room, and I heard my mom laughing hysterically. And I just came over to see what she was laughing at, and it was we had HBO. We kind of stole it, and split the wires. That's all. And so,
no judgment on my part. Hey, man.
And so, it was like maybe late 80s, early 90s. And they had the HBO specials, and it was George Carlin's live jamming in New York in 1990 something. And he was doing this joke about how come the rockets look like penises. And my mom just laughed. And I go, Mom, what's going on? And she's like, the penis, the war. And
the penis, the war.
Yeah, the war, the missiles. And I was like, what? And I turn, and there's this George Carlin just doing, and he's had these funny faces, and it made my mom laugh so hard.
Now we only bomb brown people. Not because they're trying to cut in on our action, just because they're brown. Now you might be noticing I don't feel about that war the way we were told we were supposed to feel about that war, the way we were ordered and instructed by the United States government to feel about that war. See, my mind doesn't work that way. I got this real moron thing I do. It's called thinking. And I'm not a really good American because I like to form my own opinions. I don't just roll over when I'm told to. Sad to say, most Americans just roll over on command. Not me. Not me. I have certain rules I live by. My first rule, I don't believe anything the government tells me. Nothing. Zero. You don't have to be a history major or a political scientist to see the bigger dick foreign policy theory. It sounds like this. What? They have bigger dicks? Bomb them! And of course, the bombs and the rockets and the bullets are all shaped like dicks. It's a subconscious need to project the penis into other people's affairs. It's called f***ing with people. So, as far as I'm concerned, that whole thing in the Persian Gulf, nothing more than a big prick-waving dick fight.
And I didn't understand at the time, but I was like, oh, is this what is stand-up comedy, where this person's just talking into a microphone and somebody
and just seeing
laughs? Was
it just something like seeing your mom having a good time?
Yes. And also because she's not political, she's just, but she understood. Because I remember, as a teenager, I re-listened. I was like, wow, this is a very interesting political joke about, penises and missiles. But for her, it was just, she just laughed hysterically because, I don't know, maybe she got it. He could transcend cultural differences, and also the way he told, you're right, he does still does in my mind, but he has passed on, obviously. But his body language and his eyebrows, and because it's sort of a combination of words with like whimsy, a little bit of whimsy in the movement. I don't know. Yes.
So he transcended. He reached your mom.
He reached my mom, and I was just like, because I was just like, how did he do that? And growing up, he would just appear in these live specials on HBO, and as I'm growing up, I just started listening to him, and then I started reading Brain Droppings when I was 12, when he had that book. He finally wrote a book, and I just read it, and I go like figuring it out, looking at, and I would laugh at sentences, like the way he would structure a sentence where he put the period and the exclamation point, why this is caps. I looked at it and I was like, I would laugh because the way he did it, he made it.
Even in the written word.
Written word.
He would punctuate things.
Yeah. And then the joke would hit me, and I'm like, wow. And I was just, I don't know. It made me like, I understand why he did that. I kind of was like, oh, I know why he put that exclamation point. And I don't know. That's how I got introduced to like humor and comedy.
And so something in you, like, I want to do that.
Yeah. Well, also I was getting to like, I wanted to be a priest. Also, I forgot to mention that when I was younger.
Yeah. So you looked up to the priest.
No, I sort of looked up into the story of the Jesus and the Pharisees, rebelling against the Pharisees because he is here telling the truth of something. That's what I admired about the story. He's like, he's going against something, but he's not doing it just to be a rebel or to cause commotion. He's just because he's trying to say something. And I connected with that. And I go like, I don't know, maybe I could do that.
Yeah.
But
speak truth to power.
Yeah.
And it makes sense to me because I think comedy does that. I mean, in a way, right? I mean,
and that's what Carlin did too.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what sort of attracted me, this whole truth to power thing. But but the thing was that, I don't know, puberty happened too. And then I was watching Scorsese movies because I found out Scorsese grew up Catholic, was an altar boy, and wanted to be a priest as well. But he found out he had a different calling to be a director. And he made this movie, Last Temptation of Christ. And I don't know if you remember that movie.
Yes, I haven't. You just made me think maybe I'll watch that. I haven't watched that in a long time.
It was my favorite. I think it's the most transformative movie for me in my life because it broke whatever I was chained in when I was so uptight when I was younger in Catholic school.
Really?
Yeah. When I saw that movie, I remember watching it first time and just going to bed thinking about it because basically it's a story about, instead of making Jesus this high-powered God, they made him a man with doubt and question. And it was rarely portrayed that way in the movies.
I gotta say, I just got kind of goosebumps when you said that.
And it's called The Last Temptation because the devil is like, I'm going to tempt you on the cross where you're like really suffering. And his last temptation was that, oh, you're not really a God. You're really meant to have a kid, have a family, marry Magdalene over there. And that's your life. That's your real life. You shouldn't be up there with the cross, sacrificing yourself. And, basically he decides to leave that. It's all a dream. He realizes that I'm not supposed to marry Magdalene. I'm supposed to die on the cross. That's my point. But what I liked about it was that the questioning, the spiritual search for because he didn't know his meaning. And there was a very sad part in the movie where he bows down and puts his hands together and asks God not to do it. He was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
And it's so, when I watched that, I was
especially such a painful death.
Yeah.
Too. Well, he's a young man.
He was a young man, 30s. And it just flipped something in me because I was just like, all this thing that I was taught in the church was bullshit. Somehow when I watched this, it was just.
It allowed you to break the spell?
Yeah. And then on my 8th grade, so that's the final grade, and then I graduated and I went to high school.
That's not a Catholic high school?
So my dad lost his job. He was laid off. Oh. So my sister went to Catholic high school. He was able to afford that. But then when he got laid off, he said to me, he was like, well, you're going to public school.
How did you feel about that?
So I grew up in Passaic, New Jersey, which is very urban. It's next to Patterson, New Jersey, where Ginsburg grew up. And it's very urban, very city. And my mom was kind of, I don't know, they were just afraid of sending me to the public school there. So they worked to send me to these Catholic school, which is across town. So it's just weird as a kid. I would go from city urban into the suburb of New Jersey to go to school. So I just saw two different worlds when I was a kid. 8th grade, last year before I go to high school, we had to do a book report presentation. And you had to read a biography and then present it to the class. And I love doing things like that. I noticed when I was younger, I was like, oh, I love being in front of kids and performing or presenting a project or something like that. That was a weird feeling because I was like, I don't know why I like this so much. But I had the opportunity because I read Scorsese's biography to talk about The Last Temptation of Christ.
Wow. So as a kid, you read his biography?
Yeah.
Wow, you're precocious. Okay. And then you're not afraid of public speaking. You're not afraid of talking to the kids. It was really, you were afraid of the teacher, the nuns.
Yeah.
So you're up there and you're like,
the teacher was a nun. She was
right, exactly.
So I was taking chances and I was.
So you were, okay.
And I passed out pamphlets of articles about the movie.
So this is your book report.
This is my book report.
On okay, wait. You're doing it on the biography, but talking about the Last Temptation of Christ.
I felt like, I'm going to concentrate on that.
This is amazing. Look at you go.
So I presented it, handed out pamphlets, and after the presentation, the nun was collecting those pamphlets because I was handing out for them to take.
Yeah, for the kids to take.
Yeah, and she was taking them
She took them away. Yeah. She didn't want them thinking about Jesus as a man.
And so,
or whatever.
Well, the Pope said it's not. Yeah, he said you can't watch it, or it's he didn't think it was honest or truth. He came out officially against the movie, and so Because she told me that. She pulled me to the side outside the class and says, hey, she wasn't mean. She just said, I can't let you pass these out. This is not what the church agreed upon.
They censored you.
Yeah. But it felt good.
Yeah.
It felt really good before I graduated.
That you got your word out there and you spoke it out loud. They can't take your words back.
Yeah.
The kids got to hear your they got to hear your report.
Yes.
And they saw those pamphlets.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to hear from one of those kids. Are you in touch with any of those kids?
No, very rarely.
I don't know. I mean, I was just curious if like that pamphlet changed my life. You know what I mean? Like you may have liberated some other kids that day.
I'm not sure.
But I can imagine that Catholic parents all around the world were forbidding their kids from seeing that movie.
Yeah.
And your mom.
They were all right.
They were cool. Yeah.
I would go to the video store and I rented Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah.
And
was it rated R?
Yeah. It had nudity and there was a sex scene between Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And
that's hot.
Yeah. But the critics said, no, it's about making love. And I was like, sure. And
I just had this, I know this is a side note, total side note I'm going off on, but I just had this realization the term making love is like making more love. And this kind of goes back to religion because I do believe in a higher power, but I'm not into religion. I'm more of into this spiritual eclectic. I take a little from Christianity, a little from Buddhism. I mean, and I'm not as educated as you are. It's just whatever has come my way that rings of truth and works for me. But all I'm going to say is making love, I realize, wait, what if that's why our souls agreed to come here to earth is just to make more love? And as comedians, we make light of things. And I was like, oh, comedians are making light. Because I'm always saying love and light. Like I always say, I always like send people love and light. And then that got too popular, so I stopped saying it. But making love and making light, I've never thought about it as a term of creating it. Like when we make love, I'm not sure I ever have, but I'm like, I probably just have had sex. I'm trying to think, I've made love. I think I have made love. Okay, stop talking, Nancy. I just try. But do you know, have you ever thought of it that way, that you're creating more love? Or when you make light, you're making more light?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You have? Of course you have, because you're a philosophical thinker.
Yeah.
Since you were a kid. Yeah. You've been philosophical, but it never dawned on me that it's not, I don't know, the term just never hit me that you're making something more that was not there before.
Yes.
Shit, you've always thought you already knew this.
I mean,
it's okay. I'm the last person, maybe. you know when stuff hits you and it's like, oh, I just realized this, and you're like, yeah, Nance, everybody knows this.
I mean, you were saying that I'm making something when I was doing the presentation. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just talking about the term making love. When you were saying the critics said Jesus was making love to Mary Magdalene.
Yes, yeah.
I was saying, I just wanted to share this. Dude, I just had this epiphany this week that making love is making more love that wasn't there before. Like maybe as souls, like I always ask myself, what am I doing here on earth? What is my life purpose? And I'm like, okay, let's say if you believe in this oneness theory, you know, like a higher power, source energy. And then this is what I picture. We go out like spokes off a wheel, and then we go off and our souls have these unique experiences. And then we come back, you know, we go away and come back. That's kind of how I feel like. We go away, have experiences, and we expand consciousness is what I thought. But then I'm like, whoa, what if it's really about like we go out, we commune with each other, but somehow by getting together or making love and making light and laughter, we're expanding love and light. Does that make any sense?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Am I high? I'm not even high. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I may cut this part out. I have the right to edit another, like as if there's measurable units of love. I don't know.
But there's always the question, what is love? But yeah, that's another.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. I don't even think that's how that song goes. But all right, Mary Magdalene, you did it. You got the pamphlets out.
Yes.
You perhaps sparked some critical thinking. We're on it. I'm finding a thread. I'm finding a through line. And then you went to high school.
Yes.
Public high school in the urban setting.
Yes.
Were you no longer a minority?
No, I was the majority. Well, it was. It was mostly Hispanics, African Americans, and then Asians, Indians. The whites were the minority.
How was that for you?
It was interesting. I liked it. And the thing was that the teachers were normal people. They were not nuns or priests or believed in Christ, because we had none of those. And they were just regular, normal people. I would talk to my English teacher about Stephen King. And, I was like, that was weird because I was like, oh, you're like a regular person.
You don't have an agenda.
You don't have an agenda.
I mean, except to teach.
Yes.
Wow,
So,
that's cool. What about your anxiety level? How did it?
I had a teacher, it's fine. I couldn't find her, but her name was Connie Parisi. And she was the speech and drama teacher. And I took her class and we just wrote monologues and presented them. And that's when I sort of got all creative and did characters and try to go in front of the class and I was terrible. I didn't make people laugh, but I was writing and doing things and being in front of people.
And you enjoyed it.
And I enjoyed it. And all because, and she just gave this space in this classroom. And I really thank for her because she was not critical whatsoever.
Oh.
And it's sad because I tried to look for her online. I couldn't find her because I don't know where she is.
You wanted to thank her?
Yeah, I feel like I should because I remember I was so, because the constrictions of Catholic school and then I did her class. It was like, wow, I can be myself and be experiment. And she would be okay with it. She let us sometimes curse, but sometimes,
Yeah.
but,
you invited your whole self.
yes. And come senior year, she's directing a school play, and it's Dracula, and she was casting, and I auditioned, and I didn't get Dracula, but I got Van Helsing, the killer of Dracula.
Whoa, that's a good role.
Yes, because I had more lines than Dracula. Dracula would only come in at the end and do his stuff and then leave. Van Helsing, I noticed, I was reading the whole play. I was like, he has the most lines. So, I did that for like 3 nights in front of a stage. And it was just, yeah.
Did you love it?
I did. I had fun. It was kind of weird because I was like, when am I, I guess I'm doing what I like to do. And
it kind of surprised you, it sounds like.
It did. But, also like at that time I was listening to a lot of I was buying the CDs. I was buying the comedy albums. I didn't know that. I just thought they were just HBO specials taped. I didn't understand that was comedy albums. So I would go in and there was Pryor and I would pick that up and I would collect all these different comedy albums and go home and listen to them and laugh and learn. And so, and I feel my uncle, he started, I was 5th in my class when I graduated. So
wow.
Yeah. And
I'm going to clap for that. As a mom, although I was high-fiving D's. I mean, you're both valuable. I know, but that's impressive. Okay, so you were 5th in your class.
And so they did a little like article, class of 99, and they had all the top 5 kids, and I was there, and they did an interview, and I totally forgot about it. My uncle, because I did stand up in Toronto, and my uncle was there, and he's like 90, and he said, "Hey, I saved this," and it was the article that they wrote in high school, and it said there I wanted to be a stand up comedian and a filmmaker, and I was like, wow, I didn't know.
You didn't even remember that was your dream already from that long ago.
Yeah.
And then, so you knew that at that time, but then something happened. You went to Naropa, or you went to college, or
I didn't go up on stage until I was 32.
Wow.
I was so, I don't know. I don't think I had the chops in me. Like, I worship Carlin, but I was like, I'm not smart like him. I can't analyze society. I can barely stand writing the newspaper.
That can be paralyzing if we compare ourselves to somebody that is so great.
Yeah.
And I mean, just the best of the best of the best. And it can be paralyzing. Like, wow, I can't be Carlin. So is there any point?
Yeah.
Is that the feeling?
Yeah. I mean, like, I wrote newsletters I was a real dork in junior, when I was in junior and senior. I wrote newsletters about comedy, and This is before blogs, and so I would just hand them out to teachers and students. And it was,
That's pretty creative, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing these things because, I don't know, I just felt like I wanted to do them. I was inspired to write because of the Brain Droppings book. So I was like, I want to write like that and be funny. But then the idea of going on stage and doing it kind of like, I don't know if I could do that.
Huh.
So yeah, I didn't go up. I tried once at a high school, but I just told George Carlin jokes.
Oh,
I just
okay.
literally stole word for word his jokes. That's what I did in high school. And then I didn't go up until I was 32.
Here in Boulder? Or where were you? How did that happen? You just...
I didn't know this, but my first stand-up set was at Comedy Works.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I didn't know you have to do open mics or... I just
You signed up at New Talent Night. No, it can't... you know what? Some people do it that way.
Yeah.
I've seen some brand new folks that this is their first time on stage, and they're doing it. My first time was in a comedy club. I didn't know.
How long did you do?
I only had 2 minutes.
Me too. I don't remember it. I hardly remember.
You don't?
No.
You didn't get the tape?
No. I mean, I said something, and then I went out, and there was claps. I don't know. I really don't know. It's all a blur.
But something that compelled you to do more.
Yeah, and then I did. My second one was at Kinga's Lounge on Colfax. It was a Polish bar, and all the names were there, and I bombed terribly, and didn't go back until like 4 months later.
Yeah, that's not uncommon.
So that I remember.
You do, of course. Yeah, that one we remember those. What compelled you to do it in the first place? Like, how was there something that was going on in your life that you're like, astrologically we talk about the Saturn return at 28 years old, 29. But then was there something at 32 that you're like, you know what? I'm going to do this.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lady. I was
a lady. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I was seeing someone, and it didn't work out, and it was very painful for me because I was just like, I'm 32 now, and I'm still single, and I have a master's degree, but I'm back to, because I was an optician. I started working in the optical business when I was 17, and I sort of never, even when I was going through college, I was working part-time. So I've been doing like being an optician for like 25, 26 years.
So optician's kind of been your like safety net security.
Yes. It was because my dad said it's a skill. You could take it anywhere with you. I attained the skill. So it was able to like pay the bills. Even after I got my master's degree, I went back into the business, but I was like, I thought I was going to go into Europa and then get a job as, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like a professor, but I found out how academia really worked, and I was like, I'm not into that. And I just went back to being an optician. And
with a master's degree.
With a master's degree. And I felt like I'm back to where I'm square one. Like I was already 26, 27. I felt I'm 17 again. And I felt like I didn't do anything with my life. So... and then it was just sort of like I forgot about stand-up. I totally I kind of
forgot that dream.
I thought, I stopped watching stand-up for a moment because maybe it was kind of mean at that time. I don't know, around like 2000s maybe. I was just not interested. And then this relationship I had really, it was not good. And so we broke it off. I was the other man. Let's just be honest.
Oh, you were the other man.
Yeah.
Okay.
The guy ended up proposing to her.
Oh.
And she said yes. And so I was pushed out. So, yeah. So I felt dejected about that.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I don't know. I felt like I needed to say it. Felt this pain I was feeling. And I just remembered stand up. And then I just started watching stand-up comedy all of a sudden again, and just picking it up and listening to podcasts and listening to comedians and their podcasts and them tell their story. And so that's sort of what happened. Was like I felt like I gotta do this again. Let's see if I don't know. I really didn't know. I stepped in not knowing what's going to happen 12 years later.
How many?
12 years later.
Wow. Yeah. And so you're doing a lot of like touring around, and you said you went to Toronto and
did the show there at the Yuck Yucks for a moment, and then I'm stay busy. I always get booked every week, and I go around Colorado mostly, and it's fun.
Yeah. Do you think of any jokes, like when you think about your first jokes, or even any that you're doing now? Is there anything you'd like to share that's like, oh yeah, I'm expressing some stress, or like even after the breakup or something? Were your jokes around the breakup, or were they totally separate? Like, just like, I just want to distract myself from that pain and I'm going to do something.
Yeah, I think.
What's your favorite kind of topics and stuff?
I know the first joke that worked, and I still tell it to this day. I didn't want to do the anything relationship stuff because I didn't think I was good at it yet. I was like, I don't know how to do this. So, but I had this joke about I had a serious gambling. I'm broke. I talk about how broke I was and how I have a serious gambling problem. I gambled in a liberal arts degree, and so that was the first joke that worked. That got a laugh, and whenever I would say it, it got a laugh. Yeah. And I was like so excited, and. Because I felt like that's true.
It's a good joke.
It's a good joke.
Yeah, it's a solid joke, man. It's rings of truth. And I think around Boulder, especially, because they say, where, what's the hometown that has the most?
Oh, Wellington, New Jersey.
Wellington, New Jersey has the most bars per square mile. And I've been told, I don't know, I haven't fact checked this, but that Boulder, Colorado has the most PhDs.
I heard that. Yeah. I mean, I was at a bar and the guy who was drunk had a PhD in astrophysics. So yeah, it's true. It's totally true.
A drunk astrophysicist, that checks out for me somehow. That's the best kind to have. A drunk one, just espousing like rules of physics. I don't know. All I know is Bernoulli's principle. That's not even astrophysics. That's inside the stratosphere. I don't know what astrophysics is. Is that the physics in space?
I think so. I don't
know. Of course it is. I don't even know what it is. That's sad. I have to Google it. I never thought of that. Like, are there physics in space? I guess there are. I know that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. I know that they move those satellites around. I did a gig for EchoStar. And one of the things I love about our job is that I do a lot of corporate. So I'm a curious person, and I'm an oral learner because I don't, my eyes are on two different lines. I don't read well. So I love learning. And they showed me how they move the satellites around with propellant.
Propellant? Oh.
Yeah. And when they get too low on their propellant, they have to push them into the it's like a garbage ring out there orbiting around our planet. There's a ring of garbage.
Really?
Yeah, because they rent like there's like somehow you rent certain geographic area in the sky.
Space.
Yeah, in space.
For garbage.
But then the space that, let's say that satellite's in, EchoStar satellite is in, they rent that and they have to stay within this certain area. That's why the propellant, when it drifts, they have to go psh, psh. They have to move the satellite with little, psh, psh, I don't know, I picture a little can of hairspray.
Oh, yeah.
I can picture that. But then when it gets low on propellant, they don't want it to get stuck there. So they have to, before it runs out of propellant, psh, blast it into that next, whatever is, I forget that layer, but there is like almost like a ring of Saturn of trash going around Earth. Do you know? Okay, again, I could edit this out. But astrophysicist. Yeah, PhDs. So no shame in that. You know what I mean? I actually think it's more courageous to get a master's, like for you to say, I don't want to do academia. I was, you know what? I think one of my last guest was a psychiatrist who her whole life was going towards being a clinical psychiatrist, like helping adolescents through their stuff. And then she realized, this is not my jam. My jam is actually research. But I just think it's really courageous to like walk away from a master's degree. I mean, because
I have it. I got it.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like to not like, okay, since I got it, now I've got to do it, and living this life that you don't want just because you.
Yeah.
I think it's more courageous to walk away from it than it is to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If it's not what you want to do. You're doing what you love.
Yeah. Yeah. It took me a while. That's the thing. It took me a while to figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
but the fact, and again, that whole Saturn return, I don't know if it's real. I'm not again,
so what are the ages of Saturn?
When somehow it's in the same position as when you were born in 28 years. So it's almost like you have this, I don't know, man, I sound crazy when I talk about it, but I'm just saying when I turned 28, that's when I started doing comedy. I had a miscarriage. I started, it was a big 28, 29, big life changes, divorce, stopped doing, seeing myself as a nurse. Big changes right around 28 to 30. Life changes. I don't know. But also like hitting bottom sometimes, like, okay. Yeah. Like you said, you're humble. You're like, well, I'm starting over. I've lost my girlfriend. I've got this job, but there's got to be something else. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It was a low point, I remember, but then this comedy thing came up and it was weird. It was weird because I didn't know where it would lead. And I'm so glad where it led.
Yeah.
It's one of those like, oh, wow, it worked out.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
And then like, it's cool when we honor whatever that is, that little calling, then we meet people that we wouldn't have known. I love our comedy community.
Yeah.
Like you and I, we have a lot of common friends, I don't see you that often, but I always feel good when I see you. And it's like, I know, we're out here. We're out here for each other. Tobias, I just went up and did a bunch of video with him. Tobias Livingston, I want to learn how to live off the grid. Yeah, just in case.
He gave me my first showcase.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He's the one who really, because I didn't know you could ask for shows. I thought you just do open mics and hopefully somebody would take notice and book you. And so I did that for a year and a half. And he just said, I'm taking you to Glenwood Springs.
And, that's awesome.
Yeah, so he was like the first person that actually gave me a chance. And when he gave me that gig, I was like, wow, okay. And then, I did my best. But it gave me confidence. I'm like, okay, I did that. So it was very slow process.
Hey, I'm a slow grow too. I mean, look at me, 65. I'm on a long slow. I love doing this, and I love the gigs I have, and I love the connection with the audience, and I still love it.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, definitely I've realigned obviously some goals. I used to, in the first 10 years, I thought I would have a sitcom, and then I wanted to have, I never really had a big special. I've had like little like cable TV spots or dry bar comedy special, stuff like that. But it's like, that's okay. I mean, it's valid. The craft, developing the craft has validity. What about, is there anything like that you'd want to share? Anything else that's like how you're working through? Are you working through any other anxieties or stresses right now? Doesn't sound like there's any big trauma that you needed to work through other than just generalized anxiety, which is big.
It's big.
Yeah.
I mean, you mean currently or?
Yeah, or anything that comes to your mind where, you know what? Comedy has helped me get through stuff or even like now there's a lot going on, but yeah, anything.
I mean, I think now that it's like time to be more vocal, I think that's the thing that stand-up gave me. Like, I'm not shy anymore in terms of voicing my opinions anymore. And I could actually, figure out what to say. Like right now is just a strange time. I mean, I still got those student loan payments that I got to still pay off.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, because it was like, the previous president, I liked him because he was like, I'll try to help you out.
Yeah, they were trying to do that whole student loan forgiveness program.
Yeah,
and it never really happened or what?
No. Oh, well, the thing is that they were working on it and then he got in. And so I'm on this program that the previous president started where he's like, because it was on default. He was like, okay, we'll take it out of default, but you have to start, learning how to pay it back. So I'm now in that situation. Do I have a new, I had a joke I tell now about how I think student loan debt now is like the thinking man's DUI. Because it's like, I'm ashamed to talk about it. They're always asking about it when I'm applying for shit, It's like, I'm just trying to get a car, man. I'm not.
Yeah, I promise I won't do it again. Would there be like a class you could take? Like after a DUI, you have to take defensive driving classes. Like, what would prevent you from going back into a liberal arts degree? How?
Well,
how do we do an intervention?
I'm going seeing a financial planner now, so that's what I'm doing. So, yeah, I'm taking steps basically.
Yeah.
To not.
You're working a STEP program? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great analogy. I like it. Thinking man's DUI. Student loans. Yeah, man.
There's this one story where I know another comedian where she was crying because she was like about her student loan debt. And she was crying, and I was like, comforting her. And I told her what mine was. And then she started laughing. She's like, oh, my God, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
Do you want to say it out loud? How much money?
Oh, no. It's too
God.
Yeah.
No, rope is expensive.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, he's like, if I thought good, I should have been more, had a plan about what I was doing, but I don't know. It was that weird time where
nobody's thinking like that in their 20s, really.
I was like, I'm following my dreams, man, but I don't know.
And then you look at like a professor's salary and you're like, a couple of years I could pay that down, whatever. But I forgive you.
I'm hoping the government will forgive me.
Yes, that would be amazing. I know. What a different world it would be. I always think, this is what I got to stop being angry about Bernie Sanders. I'm not over it. I'm not over it. I really am not over it. I'm still mad at the DNC for what they did to Bernie. Yeah. But anyway, man, what a different world. Yeah. I feel like.
Yeah. And the thing is that I'm not the only one. That's the thing I'm learning.
No, God, no.
You are not alone. I used to feel ashamed. Like, that's where the DUI idea, because I felt ashamed that I was.
You truly did feel ashamed.
Yeah. And the thing is that, because I think the reason why that joke came from is that I started realizing a lot of people had DUI. So it was like, I was taking like surveys. You had a DUI? He was like, yeah, you had a DUI. I was like, I have huge student loan debt. What's your student? And they're like, and so I'm like, really, I'm not alone.
Yeah. And that's what Traumedy all about. So people don't feel alone out there. You may have just helped relieve someone else of some shame with humor.
Yeah. Like, I had people come up to me with the DUI. They were like, that's a very good joke. And I could tell that you have that too.
I was trying to think too about analogies with it, like blow starting your car. Like with the student loan, you can't blow start. I don't know. Who would you blow to get your student loan?
Well, no.
Who or what would
anyone to get this off?
Oh, listen. Hey, call Anthony. How'll they get a hold of you, Anthony? If you want help with your student loan debt, how do people find you on Instagram? This is a weird way to lead into it. Please do not. He's not going to blow you, I don't think. But you never know.
If you relieve my student loan debt, mate.
This is negotiable, okay? Seriously, what is your Instagram?
It is, it's my last, so it's Bartolo.
Bartolo.
And LOL comic. That's my Instagram.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Bartololol.
Yeah, I don't know. I might
comic.
change it.
No, I like it. So that's on Instagram.
That's on Instagram.
I'm going to put a link in the show notes to that, and something maybe about student loan anxiety or debt or something. I don't know, a resource for people. I was also thinking about something between Jesus and George Carlin, like you're this like if someone were to do a cartoon of you, like, because you do actually, and also a little bit of the Buddha energy. You got, maybe it's the Naropa influence, but it might be the Asian influence.
I kind of look like the guy who started Naropa. That was the weird part.
Do you really?
Yeah, people gave me double takes.
You should have taken advantage of that. You should have gone around and fired people.
Well, I got what do you call it? Not baptized, but I became official Buddhist, and they give you a Buddhist name.
Oh, what's your Buddhist name?
Is
it confidential?
No, but it was interesting. It was Ngawang Tenzin. Ngawang Tenzin. Yeah, and apparently it's divine Lord, holder of the teachings.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, but it was
Divine
funny.
Lord, holder of the teachings. What an honor. That's cool. I've always wanted somebody to give me a cool name.
Yeah. Oh, but I was also like, I don't know. I was kind of like, really? Is this me? And I don't know why I felt kind of weirded out about it.
Well, and do you feel like with your comedy, do you have any desire to teach?
No, because I felt learning from my religion, the problem is when somebody goes like,
I have the answer.
I have the answer.
Yeah.
And
oh, that's old Nance. I think I know stuff sometimes.
yeah, I am very skeptical when I meet somebody, and they might be the nicest person in the world, but when they say, I know God exists, it's like,
oh, no.
I kind of went like, I don't know. It's just like, I would like to have a discussion about that because I don't know. What is knowledge anyway?
What is love?
Yeah.
And what is knowledge?
Yeah.
Whoa, this is a whole now. That's a part 2.
Yeah. Because, the Buddhists, I think they're trying to say that it's just presence, being present. Is that knowledge, just experiencing things as they are without any curtains that we put on top of things, and
Whoa, say that again.
Like,
what is the curtain thing again? Was that like was that the Wizard of Oz? What was that?
Yeah, kind of like curtains, like you're hiding something. You're
without the veil.
Yeah, the veil.
Okay, wait, say it again. What was the whole sentence?
I can't remember.
Doesn't matter. Okay. No.
But I mean, like, without the curtains. I don't know what I said, but it's something like people put curtains over things. Like, I know God. And then they have but the thing is that whatever your version of God is based on so many things: your life, how you're raised. I mean, all your culture.
Yeah. Your lens, your specific.
Your lens, yeah. It's like your curtain. You put it over.
I do have a problem with thinking I know stuff. I have to work on that. It's getting worse too because now I'm taking testosterone cream and I'm mansplaining stuff to people. So, oh man, I thank you for this conversation.
Yeah,
I mean, this has been interesting to get to know you a little better. And I know we could probably talk again another time more philosophically or about your comedy, but people can find links to where else can they find your comedy?
YouTube. My name, just search Anthony Bartolo.
Okay.
Comedian. I mean, there's only, the other guy is a CEO of something. The other Anthony Bartolo is a CEO of something, so ignore that.
Ignore that guy, unless you need a CEO of something. Find Anthony Bartolo on Instagram and YouTube and anywhere around Colorado or the country.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Nance.
Thank you for being a listener on this co-healing journey. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share Traumedy the podcast with a friend who may need to know that they are not alone. Trauma can be isolating and overwhelming. Traumedy is not a replacement for trauma therapy, but it may help you get by between sessions. The most courageous thing you can do is to feel your feelings, grieve, and then cry. Rinse, lather, repeat. Thank you for listening to the Traumedy podcast. Always remember, no matter what, keep laughing.